Hi again guys, welcome to Sweatshop Fitness and I'm Jimmy Rosario, and in this video, as we explained last time, we're going to talk about visceral fat, how important it is to keep it down, and some tips and methods how our trainers and nutritionists have got together to give you some ideas how you can bring it down. Visceral fat, the stuff in your midsection here that you really need to lose, the unsightly fat. Unlike the fat you have in your skin, this one tends to wrap around your organs and increase NCD or non-communicable disease risk, usually diabetes, heart, kidney and liver. So when try to slim down, we always see that midsection is often the first thing you want to see go. Okay, so clients always say, yeah, I'm always there, but I just need to lose this, just this, a little bit more. So research shows that losing belly fat is more complicated than just increasing the number of reps or the intensity of an ab workout, okay, or just catching one easy diet. So like we always say, we are going to change this. We need to change this to bring down this. So it's not possible to do a certain exercise or eat in a certain way to specifically lose weight from your arms or your legs or your midsection, okay, but we still can reduce the chances of that area, for example, we'll just say here, by reducing the chances of it having the ability or the opportunity to store fat. Okay, so that's it. It's a smart to lose excess belly fat. It's always important, and make it a priority. Also, you look great in any clothes, even in swimwear. So everybody really needs to get that bikini body, or even a 6-pack, a 2-pack, or even a 4-pack, or just get a slightly flatter stomach than you have right now. Okay, and but more than that, remember it's linked to lower heart disease and type 2 diabetes risks. So in the image here, you can see that you can actually have visceral fat even as a thin person, and you can actually have less visceral fat as a slightly larger person. So technically it's made of two types of fat. So subcutaneous, it's just here under your skin, you even have it here, so you can also have it here. And visceral, or what you call intra-abdominal fat, so that's the one that tends to wrap around, like I said earlier, and just makes it way literally into your organs. So most of the time when we're talking about belly fat, what I mean is visceral fat, remember. So our body composition tests can show you how high or low or normal your visceral fat is, and if it is very high, you will have to have a chat with our nutritionist and our trainer, and we'll work with bringing that down for you. Okay, so it's the most dangerous type of fat because it's linked to several health concerns, several non-communicable diseases. So in addition to that, there's also inflammation, okay, and breathing problems. So even skinny people can have it. So skinny people who think that they don't have cholesterol, when they test, they find out, yes, okay, visceral fat is also a precursor and also can give you a little signal that you need to check your blood sugar and lipid profile, your blood cholesterol levels. So in women, it can also increase the risk of gallbladder disease and breast cancer. So why is it so bad? Why is it so dangerous? So visceral fat particularly is dangerous because it's likely to, it's very close to what they call the portal vein. Okay, so that transports blood from your intestines area to your liver. Okay, so substances released by visceral fat can travel through your liver, and where they impact your body's production of lipids or blood lipids, fatty substances in the blood. So that unfortunately can increase your bad cholesterol and reduce your good cholesterol. So visceral fat also pumps out immune system chemicals that will disrupt your metabolism. It will also disrupt your blood pressure and also your ability to respond to normal insulin. Okay, so as a result, you can develop insulin resistance. So that can lead to type 2 and pre-diabetic risks. So the more excess belly fat you have, the greater risks you'll obviously have. They say that 1 kilo of visceral fat is linked to high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, but at the same time, the reverse is also very good. You can almost put it down into numbers. So like about 3 to 4% of your starting weight can reduce, increase your metabolism, increase your heart health, and reduce your visceral fat, which will lead to all those other advantages. So if you ask me what is one of the fastest ways to reduce visceral fat, late dinners, junk food, alcohol and sugars. Okay, so that's the good news. Visceral fat is one of the easiest types of fat to lose just by eating a well-balanced diet. That's all you have to do. Also, if you can cut down on CRP, no carbonated drinks, no refined foods, artificial foods, processed meats and carbs, especially the things like donuts and buns and pastries, you will see the results really fast. Okay, so the bad news is that it does not sometimes tend to reduce for some people. Okay, first remember that it's impossible to target belly fat alone through exercise. Okay, but reaching a lower body fat percentage, which also is shown on our body composition scans, overall this will reduce your belly fat. Okay, and in turn that will reduce your risks of metabolic disease and things like diabetes and heart risk. So having a calorie deficit of about 500 calories is more than enough to lose a kilo a week. So you can begin to lose belly fat almost right away, but sometimes you might take some time to see or even feel the results. Okay, you'll always feel some clothes getting looser, and you might be able to get back into some of your old clothes. So there are many factors that include age, genetics, environment and your activity level. We'll talk about those a bit further. So I'll give you some tips for burning fat, visceral fat and trimming your waistline. Number one is cut calories. The primary path to belly fat loss is a sustainable calorie deficit. So like we spoke about, so go about minus 500. So a nutritionist can also, they can set it and accurately track your calorie intake. Also measure your waist circumference. You can get a WC tape, or you can just take a normal tape like a stitching sewing tape, and you can measure it and watch. Try to take it at the same time every day. Maybe as soon as you walk up, you empty your bladder and your tummy, and then you take the measurements around your belly area. So the way to measure this is you regularly log your waist circumference by looping a tape measure around your waist just above your hip bone. Okay, that's what we call the danger zone. So you have high risk health effects in a waist that is more than about 89-90 centimeters, about 35 inches for women and 40 inches for men. So 40 inches is about 100 centimeters, that's 1 meter. Okay, number two is eat a well-balanced diet with high fiber fruit, veggies, whole grains, lean proteins, and things like chicken. Fish is also great. You can take lots of healthy fats from so many things. Have a chat with us again if you need to know about what healthy fats are, and simple solutions, simple and affordable solutions also during this time. Focus on portion size. It's very easy by looking at our quality, quantity, timing. Okay, so if you focus on good portion size, eating meals in smaller plates, you can also go to the extent of weighing your food, which would be perfect. That can help you get better at recognizing your portion sizes. So you don't need to always measure it. Once you've done it a few times, when you get used to it, you just know exactly how many grams that piece or that serving is. And number 5 is what we always keep telling you: cut back, cut down on sugar. Since sugar is linked to weight gain and lots of limited processed foods and alcohol, and having high sugary sweet fizzy drinks and even juices, and to try and find little alternatives. Okay, you can track your added sugar intake to help you recognize these little small little ones that just tend to creep in. You don't have to always you note the bigger ones. You can always notice the smaller ones that are going to just creep in. The occasional sweet you take here and there, the stuff you have, sweets or mints in your car, and things like that. Number 6 is you have to consider intermittent fasting. Okay, so we're looking at 10 hours of eating and 14 hours of fasting. So say 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. is your eating window, right? So lots of our intermittent fasting clients started at around 12. We recommend start about 12 hours, then you can increase it by an hour each week. So they start with 12 hours of fasting, increase it to 13, 14, 15 and 16. So in 4.5, maybe 5 weeks, you're usually done. And then you've nicely adapted into an intermittent fasting routine. Number 7, work out with us. Try out a free session with us and see what you like and tell us which exercises you enjoy. It can be swimming, riding, cycling. Find something that you really like, and that way there's a higher chance for you sticking to it. So a really good wholesome low calorie diet combined with exercise is the best method for burning out your visceral fat. Okay, HIIT is great, interval training, which we do circuit training. Workouts are essentially they're really great for fat burners, like we said earlier. So after you finish your workout, you're still in a fat burning zone. Okay, so you're burning fat without even knowing it, without even trying. Okay, like we said in the previous video, do a combination of cardio and weightlifting few times a week that can support lean muscle. Okay, these also burn more calories, so there'll be an additional calorie burn during your cardio workout. But like I said, so the best exercise routine is one that suits your lifestyle, your timing, level of intensity, and the area you like to work out. Okay, so if you can work out between 30 to 60 minutes a day, that would be perfect. You can start with a bike ride, like we said, or just a walk. Okay, or you can just try one of our group sessions or personal training sessions. Okay, we're almost at the end of our list. So number 8 is minimizing stress. Okay, remember we spoke about cortisol in the previous videos. So chronic stress, so short-term and long-term stress. You have chronic is long-term and acute is short. So we're looking at long-term stress. Chronic stress releases cortisol. Okay, there's no question about that. And this hormone can lead to weight increase, weight gain, and inflammation. So find ways to lower stress levels that work with your lifestyle. Try and walk in a more relaxed place. There are lots and lots of places you can find for going for a walk that are surrounded in nice areas like lakes or even the beach. You can also try out one of our yoga or meditation classes, or spend some time with a friend, or some religious or meditation and more relaxing area. Okay, so number 9 is, like we always say, we're talking about diet, nutrition, sleep, stress. Okay, so remember here we missed the one, number 9, sleep. So lack of sleep can harm blood sugar levels and can trigger cravings. Okay, that's why some people have bad sleep patterns. They just get out of bed, they go to the refrigerator, and they just get something really sweet and really unhealthy. Okay, so basically, going back to recap, there are no shortcuts in healthy living. Okay, because visceral fat tends to respond well to healthy eating. Okay, and cardio, aerobic exercise, long term. Okay, and look at a calorie deficit of 500 calories a day. Okay, and just make sure that it is sustainable than rapid weight loss. Okay, and it ultimately helps reduce your waistline. So to track progress regularly, measure your belly just around your navel. Okay, and remember that muscle is heavier than fat. So if you're looking and feeling leaner, it might not always show on the scale. Again, another reason why we tell people to do a body composition scan versus just getting on top of a scale. Okay, there are 2 reasons for this. General population, people who do not have a sports and exercise background, what they do is their body fat levels will be higher, their muscle levels will be lower, and through a program they'll be doing this. So when you hit this point, you hit your target. But if you keep working out, you're reducing fat further and increasing your muscle. So muscle density tends to be higher than fat. So 2 things can happen. You can think that your scale is broken, or you are going to give up on this exercise program thinking that you are gaining weight and you forgot to notice how well your clothes have been fitting. So the other things you can do is notice your energy levels, look at how well your clothes are fitting, look at how your mood has changed, how much better you're sleeping. And if you're struggling to lose weight, you just can reach out to us, work with our nutritionists, trainers, and we'll help tailor an individualized, customized plan for you. Okay, so make progress every day while you work with small goals, mini fitness goals, mini nutrition goals. Let's say walking more steps. Okay, trying to track your macronutrients. Okay, so have a minimum step count of 8,000 okay, a medium level of 12, and maybe you can go up to maybe 16 or even 20,000 steps on a good day. So okay, so for contact our health coaches for any daily coaching and easy to follow steps which it can share with you, okay, to keep you motivated. So until we see you next time at our next video, I'm Jimmy Rosario of the Set Shop Fitness, and I'll see you soon. Take care guys, bye.